Hello, everyone, and welcome to a massive, dust covered, absolutely legendary edition of History Hounds and Happy Campers. I'm Amanda, your lead history sleuth, chief researcher, the person who gets genuinely giddy when I find a rusted 19th century railroad spike in the dirt.
And I'm Laura, also known as Mom. I handle the logistics, the RV electrical system, and one who makes sure we don't accidentally park our 30-foot rig in a protected riparian wash while Amanda is busy chasing the ghost of a train robber.
If you're joining the pack for the first time, our mission is to prove that history isn't just in the books, it's under our tires. We travel in our rig, documenting the happy camper side of life, finding the best boondocking and managing our water tanks, and the history hound side, uncovering the gritty human stories that built the American West.
We are currently in the San Pedro Valley of Arizona, and we have a major update on the soul of our crew, Lua.
She's essentially a small, fluffy pony. She has mastered the Pyrenees patrol, walking the perimeter of our campsite to make sure no jackrabbits or the 19th century outlaws disturb our peace. She's the ultimate history hound, even if she prefers the napping part of history to the digging part.
Today, we're bringing you to a massive deep dive into Fairbank, Arizona. While everyone knows Tombstone, Fairbank was the town that made Tombstone possible. It was a gateway, a supply line, and the site of one of the most famous shootouts in railroad history.
Before we walk the abandoned tracks, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button and follow our channel. We're building a community of road warriors and history buffs, and your support is what keeps the rig rolling. Now let's step back into the 1880s. To understand Fairbanks, you'll have to look at the map of 1880. Tombstone was booming with silver, but it had a problem. It was in the middle of a dry, rugged plateau. It had no water for ore processing and no railroad to ship the silver out. The location? Fairbank was born because of the San Pedro River. It was the closest point on the river to Tombstone. In 1881, when the New Mexico and Arizona Railroad began building a line from Vincent to Nogales, they realized they needed a depot here.
The town was named after Nathaniel Kellogg Fairbank, a Chicago businessman who helped finance the railroad and the local mining operations. He never lived there, but his money built the foundation of what would become the busiest railroad hub in the county.
Mom, people always think of Tombstone as the isolated fortress, but Fairbank was its lungs.
Every stick of furniture, every bottle of whiskey, and every stamp mill from the mines came through Fairbanks first. At its peak, Fairbank was a whirlwind of activity. It featured the Grand Central Mercantile, a massive store that supplied the entire valley, the Montezuma Hotel, a luxury stop for travelers who weren't quite ready for the grit of Tombstone. 5 rails, eventually several lines converged here, making it the Grand Central Station of the Southern Arizona. While Tombstone was for the quick and the dead, Fairbanks was for the commerce and the cargo. It was a town of laborers, telegraph operators, and teamsters.
This is the History Hound blockbuster moment. Every ghost town needs a legendary shootout, and Fairbanks has a doozy. On February 15, 1900, a notorious gang led by Bert Alvod and Billy Stiles, both former lawmen turned outlaws, planned to rob the express car of the Benson Nogales train while it was stopped at Fairbank. The hero, the express messenger on the train, was Jeff Milton, a legendary lawman who had been a Texas Ranger and a U.S. Marshal. 5 outlaws, including Three-Fingered Jack Dunlap, opened fire on the train. Milton was hit in the arm, shattering the bone. Despite the agonizing pain, he managed to grab his 10-gauge shotgun and fired a single blast through the door, hitting Three-Fingered Jack in the chest. Milton threw the keys to the safe behind some trunk before passing out. The outlaws, thinking more lawmen were coming and seeing their leader down, fled empty-handed. Three-Fingered Jack was left behind by his gang and eventually died, but not before snitching on the rest of the Alvaro Stiles gang. History Hound fact, Jeff Milton survived, but his arm was never the same. He famously said, "I never met a man I couldn't get along with, provided he didn't try to rob my train." As the silver mines in Tombstone flooded and the price of silver plummeted, Fairbank began its long, slow decline, but it didn't die immediately. It transferred into a ranching and farming community.
The schoolhouse was built in 1920. The Fairbank Schoolhouse is the crown jewel of the site today. It was a one-room school that served the children of the local ranchers and railroad workers. It operated until 1944, and walking in it today feels like the students just stepped out for recess. Just a short hike from the town site is the Fairbank Cemetery. Unlike the tourist graves of Boot Hill, these are simple, weathered markers of people who lived and died working the land. It's a somber, beautiful place that offers a real look at the mortality of the frontier. By the 1970s, the railroads were gone, the post office closed, and the last residents moved away. The desert began to reclaim the adobe walls.
In 1986, the Bureau of Land Management, BLM, acquired the land as part of the San Pedro Riparian National Conservation Area. This was a turning point. Instead of being bulldozed or vandalized, Fairbank became a protected living laboratory of history.
The Happy Camper Guide visiting today. For our fellow RVers, Fairbank is one of the most accessible ghost towns in the West. The schoolhouse now serves as a small museum and gift shop. Open weekends, it's beautifully restored. The commercial building, a large wooden structure that once housed the mercantile and post office, still stands today looking like a movie set. There is a wonderful 4-mile loop trail that takes you past the old stamp mill ruins and the river and the cemetery.
Make sure to stop by and see this train station platform. It's decaying, but it's a neat reminder that that's the place where Tombstone residents would come from. So people like Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp, they all came, the Earp brothers all came from that railroad stop to visit Tombstone. And that's where they departed as well, on the train. You can also bring your horses on the trail. We've seen some horse riders out there. If you want the true Wild West experience, bring your horse out there and ride around a ghost town. Parking, there's a large flat dirt parking lot at the trailhead. We've seen Class A motorhomes parked here with no problem. Just watch out for dust devils. There's room for camping trailers and for horse trailers. It's just day-use parking. There's no camping there. Camping, we camped at the Benson KOA. We highly recommend that as your Southern Arizona base camp. Well, for the boondockers, you can look for spots by nearby Coronado National Forest. Lua's update. Lua is a big fan of the San Pedro River. For pet owners, Fairbank is a pet-friendly on leashes, so make sure to bring your history hound with you. The trails are wide and sandy, which is easy on puppy paws. However, keep a sharp eye out for rattlesnakes in the tall grass. Lua's guardian instincts are great, but she doesn't even know about the danger needles yet. Make sure to visit in the off season, not in the summertime, so you and your dogs don't get the heat stroke out there. Fairbank is a reminder that in history, the supporting characters are often just as important as the stars. Tombstone had the glitz, but Fairbank had the grit. It was a town that kept the engines turning.
It's a peaceful, haunting place that reminds us why we love the road.
Thank you for joining the pack for this massive deep dive. If you've ever hiked the San Pedro or seen the Fairbank Schoolhouse, tell us about it in the comments.
And please like and follow History Hounds and Happy Campers. Every bit of support helps us keep the rig rolling and Lua in her favorite treats.
Keep your history deep and your trails happy.
And we'll see you on the next ridge.
Bye.